Hello, everyone. This is Planckera, and welcome to my universe. Last time, I drew some people. And they are there now, and I might change them a little bit. I think it's mostly fine. I'm just not sure if I want them to be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. I was also thinking, debating if I like the location of the windows, or maybe if I wanted to move them above her feet. But I don't think I really want to put anything else down here, so I ended up kind of deciding against that. I do look at things off stream quite often. I just don't make any changes until I actually get back on stream. But needless to say, there was much arguing with myself, and that happens a lot. So I think things are probably fine the way they are. I might end up making the people a little bit bigger. I'm still not quite sure. So I think what I'm going to do is just go right into the leaves here and finish off the leaves on this tree. Since unfortunately I did not think this through and initially drew it on some of the more covered trees. No, that's right. There was one more thing I wanted to do here. I wanted to go mess around with her face again. Yeah, I see that I put a light line around here, but I think I might also want a dark one. And I think I might want to make the shadows under the hair a little bit larger and just a few minor things here and there. So let's see. Yeah, I'll need another layer for it, I suppose. Just kind of deciding where I want to put it, and I think here should be fine. Yeah, I think I can just use this layer again. And I'll just plop some things down. Again, I just kind of feel like the face is not quite impressive enough, so I'm trying to kind of add a little bit more contrast and nice stuff there. I think I'll keep this line a bit thinner than this one, since I do feel like the eyelashes are bigger or smaller than the hair. And that kind of thing. Also, I got so distracted from thinking, I forgot to say hi. Hello there, Brotox. As always, thank you for saying hello. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. Okay. Oh wait, this is symmetrical. I'm gonna back up. I don't have my symmetry ruler on. I keep forgetting because I've been working in like all the asymmetrical parts in her lower body. Since none of the stuff down there is symmetrical at this point. It's like, I guess the windows will mostly be symmetrical at some point. Thinking about it, I'm pretty sure that there's stuff I can do with the multi-brush in order to have to do less work, but I haven't quite figured out how to use that function properly yet. That was why I was so particular in how I set them up early on. Because I was hoping that I'd be able to use the multi-brush, but I just have not been able to get it to work for me. It's a little awkward. Okay, and then this side has a little bit more going on. It's not quite as covered up by her hair. And it looks like I got a little thing right there. I should fix that. Where are you? Is that you? I think I see what happened. Okay. So the white line got a little out of line, I guess you could say. There we go. And then it looks like up here is not properly attached. So that I should probably do something about while I'm here, actually. Let's see. Where is my eyelash layer anyway? Is that you? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. I just feel like the eyelash got a little bit detached right here. some parts of the eyelashes I do feel like are a little bit awkward. I probably should do something about that, huh? Yeah, this isn't an eyelash, but this is. So that's what I was fixing there, and the white line, I need to put that back into. Okay, hold on. I need to make sure I can see clearly. There we go. Because I felt like that some of this was blending into the shadow that I have going on there. And that's just no good. It might honestly be no good. I might just get rid of that little light area over here entirely. Yeah. And over there. Yeah, I think I will. But later. I gotta give myself a second here. Let's see. Back up to the lines, and got a couple of spots that need to be filled in a little bit more proper. Just right through here. Okay, and I think that's probably okay. In theory. Like, I don't know, there's like a thing here and it's kind of bothering me. Okay. There we go. That is definitely better. Okay, and then I can continue my quest to make the face a little bit better here. This is the right one. Yes, okay. I'm starting to lose track of all my line layers. There is perhaps quite a few of them. And I also want to make these a little bit pointier. Right now I feel like they're a little bit blunt. They need to be a little bit more triangular. I think that'll make them look better. And I do think that the exact alignment of the shapes and whatnot is pretty important for this style, so I don't want anything to be like super rounded off or anything. Okay. And why are you all weird? Everything should be completely symmetrical. Oh, because on this side it's covered and on this side it's not. You know, fair enough. I can understand that. Okay. Well, let's see. Do I like that? Maybe I should have done it on a different layer, actually. Whoops. Oh well, it's fine. I don't know. It kind of makes her look like she's got black eyes. I actually think I don't like it. I liked it on the hair, but I don't think I like it on the eyes. Yeah, it's a little too much for the eyes. Fascinating. Okay. Well, it's okay. This is the purpose of science, and I did fix a couple of other small things because of it, so hopefully that will still help. Yeah, I do think that is better. Okay, I'm gonna go do the other bit of science that I wanted to do, and that was a little bit on the little hairband she's got going on here. So let's see, is that? Here it is. So I wanted to try to put some dark color right through there, but it looks like I already have it, so this is probably redundant, actually. Yeah, it makes like zero difference. Okay, cool. Less work for me. I will take it. Okay, then... Yeah, the other side is a little bit less dark, but I think that's okay. Okay, so yeah, I guess the only spot that really needed it was this hair here. Alright, well that's okay. That's why I try things. I try things to see if they work. And, you know, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it doesn't turn out quite the way I wanted it to. Alright. So the next thing, I wanted to make the shadows on her head just a little bit thicker here. Huh, I don't have lines going over them. I guess I accidentally killed them at one point? Guess so, alright. Oh yeah, I probably killed it when I was erasing the eyes, so that's fine. Because I wanted to make them thicker. So it all works out anyway. I gotta be way more... I don't know, deliberate's the wrong word, but... The shadows here need a particular quality to them in order to look good. With all the extra lines and stuff that I add here. There we go. She makes maybe a little bit more sus, but it's fine. I do think that looks better. There's just always been something about the contrast on her face that I've been less than happy with. And honestly, this black line underneath her hair actually really did help a lot. I just gotta stare at it for a second. I know why I put the lighter part of the nose like this initially, but now I'm questioning my decisions. I want to see how it looks the other way. Oh yeah, and I gotta hide the blush while I pick colors here. Okay. Yeah, I think that actually works well here. Expression, still think is on point. And pretty much everything about her body I'm actually quite happy with. I still actually really like the arms. I still like the way they came out. And I think everything is contrasting well. I just need to touch up the stroke around her at some point. Decorations behind the clock are good. What about your color? At this point, I'm just gonna check for the upper half here, since I probably will put a version on Twitter that just shows, like, this much. Just because Twitter really, really hates portrait images. As, you know, a portrait as opposed to landscape. With the higher, longer vertically than it is horizontally. Okay. Let's see, do I need any, like, further decoration anywhere here? I don't think so. This is plenty busy, I think. Yeah, this does have a lot going on. Okay, so let's revisit this color. I said that I was going to do this at some point. I was expecting to finish the trees first, but my brain has decided it wants to do this now, so you know what? I'm going to let it. I don't think it's particularly important that I do the trees first, so... I'm gonna collapse Kronii since I think she's looking really good. Let's see, so back circle, and where's my border? Is that you? Yes, it is. In fact, the layer I named clock border. Okay, so I'm gonna try a few colors here. Do you look good blue? No. Do you look good yellow? No. So yes, there is a reason that I changed it. What about this yellow? This yellow specifically, since I do use it elsewhere in the picture. Yes. Yes, I like that one. Okay, and then what about here? Do I go ahead and add a little bit more of this light yellow in a few key areas to make things a little bit more interesting, I guess. Basically, when I looked at this, I just kind of felt like that there was this big blob of solid color here. and I just didn't quite like how it was working out. Like, I knew... How do I say this? Oh, hey. That's definitely not right either. What layer are you on? You're here. Okay. I don't know if this is symmetrical, but I will go around the entire clock and make sure that I don't have anything bleeding into the dark area here. What was I talking about before? Just... Oh, yeah. So when it comes to this style specifically, but I think it can apply to more styles of art, it's just... Sometimes I feel like when there's a block of... a huge block of color, where it's just all the same, I think it has more to do with value than color, actually. That it just looks kind of monotonous and boring, and I think the place that I actually see this the most would be when drawing something dark, so like a picture at night. And certain parts just all start fading to black. It's very common in like a beginner and intermediate works, where rather than varying up the values a little bit, because it's dark, they just make everything like go to black. And so everything becomes very samey in terms of value. And it can look a little dull, and I think that's what I was getting here. And I think it's also why I really, really wanted a dark space right behind her there. And why I eventually settled on this one once I... Oh, hey, I didn't have my mirror on. Whoops. But yeah, why I eventually settled on having this black spot right behind her. So I think I'm still just feeling that. So I think things are just a little bit too samey still, and I can do a lot to make them a little bit more interesting. Like, that actually helped quite a bit. I'm even going to go back up to this, I'll call it the Rays of Light layer. I should name you that. Let's do that. Much more descriptive than Paint Layer 28. Okay, and I just want to make the whole thing the brighter yellow. Just so that this way they're not the same color as the gears. Although, again, I think it actually has more to do with value than color. If we're talking about art fundamentals here. Okay, so I'm gonna vary this up a little bit. Do all the things that I thought I would do later, just right now, because why not? This is what my brain has decided it wants to do. Okay, and then I will have to go back over them here and make sure that it is not bleeding into areas that it's not supposed to, like right here. I just want it to go up to the edge. I don't actually want it to overlap. That was fine when they were the same color, but now that they are different colors, I gotta be a bit more particular. All right. This time I'll even remember to put the symmetry back on when I go back to filling in everything over here. It'll be fantastic. I do think I want to keep all this out here a solid lighter color, but, you know, I'll see what it looks like with only a few of them. A different color or something. I'll try it out. That seems like a good opportunity for just a little bit of science. And then I can pick whatever looks best. Okay, I need to check to make sure I don't have to fill in something there, so Kronii is in the way. She's got to get out of there. Just long enough for me to fill that in and make sure that everything is as it should be, and it is. So that's perfect. Okay. So I think that helped. I still don't think I want to put any other colors up there, though. Let's find out. I don't know. What do you look like with just the slightest hint of blue? It definitely has to be this blue. It cannot be the other one, because the other one looks terrible against the yellow. I get the right blue. Yeah, I was gonna say that still feels too light. Actually, this is probably the most accurate place to get it from. I'm gonna be very quick and dirty about it. I will do it all correctly after I verify whether or not I even like it to begin with. No, I like it. Okay. Let's do it correctly then. I wasn't sure if I would, but no, I think it's good. I might even put a little bit over there. Maybe make the big one black and the little ones blue. That might be nice. I'll have to change the color of this line, but that is fine. Actually, no, I won't. That's right, this is the background. Background has different rules. I'm using the same dark color for just about everything, really, in the background. Sometimes the brain thinks of very silly things, and it forgets important stuff. All right. Alas, I do not have the origin in the right spot, so I gotta find it. Alright, so let's move this origin just right here to the middle. And then I should just be able to color them all at once, and everything should just work out. Here's hoping. Here's hoping that this is sufficient here. Okay, are there any others that got missed? Does it all look good? I think so. And I do think I like them blue. Okay, so there we go. We got something a little more interesting going on back there. It's still very yellow, which I think is great. So that actually did fix most of my issues. Let's see if I want any of the gold here. Or if I just want it all to be the lighter yellow. Honestly, it's hard to say. That is why I am trying it out. There are certain things that are only clear to me once I see it. Yes, no. No. Okay. I think it might just be easier just to do that, but yeah, that was a no. What about for like some of the outer ones here? Like for you specifically. I think there's potential, but I'm still not sure. If there was no potential, I wouldn't even try it, but I don't know. I don't know. And that is what compels me to find out. Okay, so yes, no. Yes, no. Gotta back up and try to find where I got started here. Let's see. Where's the multi-brush stroke anyway? I don't know, man. Which do I prefer? Do I prefer it with no dark yellow or some? No, I actually think it's good there. I didn't like it in the other spot, but there I think is pretty good. Okay, one more thing to test. I'm gonna take this blue and I'm gonna try it right here. Let me get the symmetry on, just so I don't have to draw quite as much. And I think this is the last test I will be doing for the clock here, because I think it's looking pretty good now. This is just the last thing that I am curious about. Yes. Okay, that one is also a yes. Okay. So there we go. I do think that is a little bit better. It's a little bit more interesting. And then these, I kind of want to keep the same color. They're nice and out of the way. I don't really want them to be drawing attention to themselves. And the sun and the moon, I think, already look like perfect. So I'm not going to touch that. Kronii, I think, is looking excellent. I do want to revisit the scales on the snake there, but otherwise we're fine. And this border here, I don't think I want to touch at all. I do want to touch the border on the stained glass part, but I'm going to do that a little bit later because I don't really know what I want it to look like. And I do know what I want the trees to look like. So that is what needs to happen now. So let's go ahead and I guess I'll grab myself a stencil and just blob in some more abstract leaves here. Just use Krita's brush for it since I'm just looking for leaf shape. I'm not really trying to draw leaves here. And this should give me enough variation that I'll be happy. Yeah, that seems pretty alright. Let me get the hot pink. Just for the next layer for, like, dark parts. Actually, no, the hot pink ones I'm gonna go put in front of the tree. Okay, I thought I grabbed the wrong thing for a second there. But yeah, these will come out in front of the tree. So I don't want there to be a lot, just a little bit. Kinda continue off from where these ones left off. And that should be plenty. Maybe just a little bit right here, actually. Okay. And the shadows I think I can do with my existing one and just get it like that. Okay. Alright, and I think before I like merge anything down or anything, I'm not gonna draw on the same layer just because I'm scared. I'm very scared. So I'm gonna draw in a different layer and I'll just, yeah, draw some leaves. And they'll be very leaf-like. Let's see, here I think I'll actually combine these two areas. And I need to look at the width of the lines again. So these are the ones I'm looking at. I'm even gonna hide the other leaves right now, just so I don't see their lines and get confused. I just want to look at these ones. I just want to look at these ones. Okay, and then I will keep, you know, some of these little holes that I see, because I do think that they make things look nice. And I will just carry this all the way out to the edge. And by the end, I should have something that looks pretty okay. You know, in theory. Always in theory. I think it's good to look at things with your own eyes. Kind of debating how I want this one to be. Do I want you to be a little hole? I guess so. I had to look up to make sure I had symmetry off. I was like, oh no, did I forget to turn it off? Just one of those moments of just sweating. But all is well, because I did remember to turn it off. And I'll be trying to make some nice little leaf-like shapes here, especially on the ends. I don't have to follow exactly what was drawn before, especially not since I was just using a stamp brush to help me out and get some nice scattering going. Humans are amazingly bad at making truly random patterns, so I always like asking the computer for help with that. Computers do have their uses. They can be quite smart sometimes. Okay, and when I merge these down, I'll have to make sure to not be preserving transparency there, so I'll go ahead and turn that off now before I forget. Otherwise, I'll probably just make myself a little sad. I'm following this one a little bit, but I'm kind of extending it out a little bit more so that it covers a little bit more of the background, or a little bit more of the branches of the tree, I guess I should say. Gotta do kind of something similar over here. Okay. And I'll go ahead and combine the lines in a couple of places here. There we go, and I think that should be good for here. Let's go ahead and turn off my kind of stencil spot, and I'll color that in and see if it looks good. Alright, what's going on here? I'm not quite sure, but it's okay, I'll fix it. I'm guessing that this was just something that was covered up by Kronii. And so I was not very neat about it. You know what? I actually want to go double check. Because, yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't look like a spot that was covered up by Kronii. Huh, what happened here? I don't know, but it's bad. So, that's unfortunate. Well, anyway, I'll go ahead and fix it here first. I must have been real tired the day I worked on this. You know, I can totally believe it. I have been very tired lately. I've been working hard. I'm gonna kind of give myself next month to kind of cool down and get and figure out what's sustainable for me long term. But I do hope to be getting into a bunch of cool stuff starting January. It'll be a very exciting year. Trust me, I have ideas. So for this one, I actually do have symmetry on. Because it makes sense here. It does. The tree on the other side is a perfect mirror of this one. So once I get what's right here, all will be well. And then I can just go in and get the last one. Did I really leave this much wrong? There's no way. You know, my computer did restart itself at one point, so I'm wondering if something just didn't get saved. That doesn't seem right because I do save at the end of every stream, but I find it hard to believe that even a tired me would have said, yes, this is done. And I distinctly remember drawing the thing over here. So, I don't know. There's shenanigans somewhere here, but it's all good. Because, you know, I can just fix it now. It's not that big a deal. These things happen sometimes. Not sure how it happened. That is definitely a little awkward. Oh well, I can fix it. It's not that hard, especially for something like this, where it looks like it kept most of my lines somehow. So I literally just gotta go paint in there. But who knows, maybe that time I just could not draw. Oh no, I think I know what happened. I have my leaves turned off. Yeah, I have the front leaves turned off. I see, okay, so that's what happened. Yeah, and there you go, what do you know, they cover all the spots that looked really bad. Okay, so I don't have to care, I just totally forgot that I turned off the front leaves. So no, it wasn't past me being a derp, it was present me being a derp. Okay, I understand. You know, it's actually kind of relieving. Anyway, I'm go back to what I was doing then, and I will just not acknowledge that that even happened. So, leaves. It's okay, I think I kind of like this pattern for this, where I still get the effect of distance, because some of the leaves are very undetailed, and I still get the effect of stained glass by... Hold on, sitting on my foot, there we go. By making that nice outline there. And at some point I might even put some other colors in there, which would also help too, but I didn't want to do color picking until I had all the trees drawn. Because each of them is going to get a slightly different color. And I figure once I do it for one, I can kinda copy it over to the others. At least if I add like alternate colors into the background here, I can copy over where those color changes were, is what I mean. Winter is done though. Winter just needed snow. So that was nice and easy. I'm still kind of debating on what I want to be putting in each of these. Because I know for spring, you gotta have flowers. And I feel like for autumn, you gotta have food. Winter, probably just lots of snow. I might put a little snowman in there. I think I remember talking about this last time of just, you know, how cute should I make it? I feel like it's gotta be a little cute. Just like, you know, a snake with a ribbon tier cute. Okay. Fortunately, it looks like, you know, just most of this area is colored. So I just gotta get it in there. What the heck is here? Some spots I did not get very well. There we go. That's a little better. Last, like, corner here. Let me see. Are you supposed to be painted? No, I think you're fine. This suggests to me that I should not paint there, but I can paint here. So I will let that remain blue skies. There would just be a little hole in the leaves there. Okay, the little tiny holes here and there, I actually think make them look a little bit more fuller and soft. Like you can run your hands through them. When I think about shapes in this manner, I don't think about realism that hard. But to an extent, you kind of have to think about how things are in real life in order to match their impression, if that makes sense. Because when people are looking at something... What is going on here? Hole. This is an extra line. But yeah, when people are looking at something, it leaves an impression in their mind. And if you want to draw something, even if you're not going for realism, matching the impression is still quite important. Because that'll be what makes the thing look like the thing. But I always thought that was a good way to put it when I heard the comparison for the first time. Of just, you know, it's not necessarily about where the light falls or any of those things. It's just, if you were to tell a 3-year-old to draw, or, you know, let's make them a little older just because 3-year-olds don't actually typically draw specific things. But yeah, if you were going to make an elementary schooler and ask them, hey, draw that, what do they draw? Humans see a lot of things in a symbolic nature, and if you want to draw something accurately, like in terms of realism, you gotta get rid of all of those symbols and just look at it for what it is. But I think if you want to draw things accurately in terms of a feeling, you still gotta do away with the symbols to a degree, but I think remembering them is actually helpful. Because you can kind of incorporate some of the ideas from the symbols. Kind of why I hate the criticism that anime is too symbolic. It's like, I mean, true, I guess. It does rely heavily on symbols, but it's because it relies heavily on delivering an impression as opposed to something more realistic. I think it's why a lot of the times the faces feel so expressive to me. Because it's going hard into giving you the impression of the feeling instead of necessarily what happens. Like, your eyebrows, they'll never actually dig into your eyeballs, but you can draw them that way and people will understand. You know, when you're angry. But if you're drawing an angry face, you know, to stick those eyebrows way down there. It'll be great. Can I do that? I couldn't figure out how to rig my eyebrows when I was first learning how to do this model, so I don't think I can. Alas. Eyebrows, top of my list of things to figure out if I ever rig a 2.0 model for myself. I mean, let's be real, I almost certainly will. I drew this model and all of my stream assets like 2 years ago, and I want to redo them and make better things. Learned a lot in 2 years, okay? Okay. There we go. I think that's all of that, and that does look like a pretty nice tree. So, I'll keep the stencil still, just because I do want to be able to use it for the dark spots. Oh, sneeze. Okay. I do want to be able to use it for the dark spots, so I'll invert the color there, I suppose. Oh, okay. There we go. And I think I'll do the front leaves before I do the back leaves. I don't think it makes sense to do the back leaves before then, so here we go. Now that I got the body of the tree kind of doing what I want, let's get those front leaves in there. Okay. So I'll start with the dark lines. First thing I gotta do is kind of finish all the leaves I got cut off here. And, you know, once again, I'm kind of scared, so I'm gonna do it on another layer. Why did it make 3? My pen is so confused right now. Alright. So this is where the lines get thick. Okay, and a few of the lines I gotta clean up here. I'm guessing Kronii. Oh. What is that then? What are you? Very mysterious. Okay, so you're part of the lower layer. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to change the shape of this entirely. I don't like the way that these are overlapping. So it's going to go out like this now. And then I can just color on top, and it will no longer drive me insane. Perfect. But yes, I will finish drawing these leaves first. The ones that got cut off at the edge. Because they were covered up, so it didn't really matter. Okay, so that's that area. I guess I'll go ahead and draw these leaves then. Now let's see. I'm gonna hide the tree. Gotta hide that tree trunk. And then I just gently go over these shapes here. Make them all look nice. Gotta think hard about how I want to handle it. It's not always immediately obvious. And sometimes it might take a couple of tries. But even if it does, that's okay. I'll get through it. I don't really want to do too many down here, just because that area is like already done. And I want to keep these trees looking very similar, as identical as possible, going across. Being perfect mirror images of each other would actually be the ideal, but that's okay. It would be the ideal, but I think that ship has sailed. I don't really want to copy it all over and whatnot. I think that what I have here is perfectly fine. So I just gotta draw in the leaves again. I feel like when it comes to drawing trees, leaves are like hair. It will never leave you alone. When you think you're done, you're not. It will come back to haunt you. It will. It will never let you escape. Never. This was another area that was kind of cut off by the edge of the screen. So, by Kronii's legs and feet in this case, I believe. So I'm kind of thinking about how I want to interpret this blob of color that I put down. As always, I mean, it's just a guide. I do not have to follow it, in fact. But there's a reason I wanted a guide, so it's worth thinking a little bit about. Just to make sure that I get everything looking nice. Okay, are there any others that kind of got cut off here? Doesn't look like it, so I'll just go ahead and draw the rest of the leaves here. I don't want to do too many over here, you know, same reason. I just want to keep the trees looking very, very identical. As much as I can. As much as I am able to. So while my brain isn't completely off, there's admittedly not that much to think about. It's just leaves. Draw leaf shape, and all is well. You know, I was just talking about symbols and art here, and if you actually look at a leaf a lot of the time, or a tree with a group of leaves, it probably wouldn't look like this. If you really, really looked at it. But I do think that this gives a very strong impression of leafy tree. And I think that is the nature of abstraction. And why I started finding it a little bit more interesting than realism. Realism is about seeing things as they are. Abstraction is about seeing them with how they make you feel. So, that's kind of how I see it. And I think that's kind of what makes art styles kind of interesting. Because you kind of get to see how people feel about certain things just based on how they draw it. Okay, I need my trees back for a second here. Let's see. Basically, I needed the trees back for a second just to see how many of these leaves I should be drawing. And yeah, it does indeed look like I've barely even gotten started, and I actually did a pretty good job of dotting this out properly. So, probably won't draw all those leaves, but I got them in good places, so I can draw as many as I think is necessary. Which is a lot. Unfortunately. So I'll be in leaf drawing hell for just a second here. But we'll see where my mind decides to wander. I guess I can tell you a little bit about the stuff that I have planned for next year. Besides working on my comic idea, I kinda got an itch. I kinda want to see about making some VTuber fan games. I want to get into more game development stuff. So, just thinking about making games inspired by them. And it sounds like a good time. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it's the kind of thing that I have to put together in my head before I can really do too much coding. But for one idea that I have, I probably have enough to at least get started. So you can bet you'll be seeing some of that come January. But I do need a minute to rest after NaNoWriMo, because man, my brain, it is very tired. I'm also hoping to make some interesting or just regular videos, not necessarily stream stuff. And even for stream stuff, I'd like to do more stuff that's more adjacent to putting on a show as well. As opposed to, you know, just coming on and drawing. I'll still do that a lot too, though, because I like that. It's a good time. Are my lines too thin? Some of them definitely are. Shoot. But basically, I have ideas. I just need time to polish them. Actually, I think right now it's less time and more just mental energy. Because it's like I try and then my brain just goes... and it objects. But it's okay, I've been really enjoying writing the script for my comic idea. Even if it never sees completion, which, you know, I still hope it does, and that sometime next year I will have something cool. I think it's been very good for me to do. Many, many personal reasons. Sometimes I think you just gotta do something. And it's difficult to explain. But the personal journey is real, I can tell you that much. Yeah, man, I really did make some of these lines very, very thin. Whoops. Oh well. I forgot that these were supposed to be the chonky lines. Yep, there we go. That's a bit better here. It's a little more consistent all the way through. I might have messed it up further up too, so I should probably go check on that. I'm on the right layer, right? I am. Okay. I was scared for a second. I am clearly a little bit on the absent-minded side lately. You know, it's okay. I'm doing the thing. I am doing things. And it feels good. I actually almost caught up on my word count goal today when, for the past, ever since it started, because on the first day, I just seriously struggled to get anything down. But it's becoming easier and easier. I am starting to work out those little brain muscles, and it is figuring it out. So, it is getting easier. Okay, I gotta check on the leaves up here. Yeah, I made some of these a little too thin. But it's okay, I already knew that from doing art that you just gotta exercise those little muscles and something will eventually click. The pathways will form. That's just how brains work. Whatever you make them do, they will do again. Whatever you make them do repeatedly, they will start to get good at. I've heard it compared to like a nature trail. Or, maybe in the beginning it's just unexplored forest. And at most you might get like a little rabbit trail if something has ventured down that path before. But as you start reinforcing it, eventually you get a trail that you can walk down very easily. And it just takes walking down the same trail over and over and over again for that trail to form. Happens in real life too. Any path that people walk down often, you notice that the grass gets beat down on it, and even if it's not paved or otherwise codified in any way, it still becomes easier and easier to walk on as more people do it. So, it's kinda cool. Brains are neat. I do look forward to what neuroscience can tell us about, I don't know, being human in like 100 years. Because some of the stuff that they're doing there is wild. Just if you can induce certain parts of the or activate certain parts of the brain chemically, you can bring out all kinds of behavior, and it's super terrifying. Literal mind control. Literal mind control. Very scary stuff, especially when you think about what people might be able to do with it someday. But, it's pretty cool. The world is terrifying. And I love it. Okay, and I think I'm probably what? A good... yeah, probably like 2/3 through the leaves? It's okay, it's getting there. And frankly, I think this is a lot faster than what I would be able to do 6 months ago, because 6 months ago, I think I'd have to go back over the lines and make them smooth, because I don't think I could have drawn lines quite like this 6 months ago. And just get it right on the first try. The speed is coming, I can feel it. I've been practicing so hard, and I do feel like it is paying off. How do I want this one to be? Try to figure out what this blob here should look like. Yeah, that works. That works. Okay, and I don't think I need that one, so all is well there. Yeah, this is going outside the edge. Maybe I should turn off the pink leaves just so I can, not the hot pink ones, but like the inverted pink ones. Just so I can see the edge a little better. No, don't click off the layer, please. God, now I have to find it again. Okay, there it is. There we go. Just so I can actually see the edge of the screen better, because yeah, I drew a whole bunch on the outside on accident. Oops. My mind, it was a wandering. It was a wandering. Okay, but this is the last little section here, so almost there, and then I can zoom out, see if I'm happy, and color them. Little leaf shapes forever. Bloop. Bloop. Okay, I got a few unfinished ones here by the looks of it. Okay, that's good. One last little corner. One last little corner. God, I really have just been especially absent-minded lately. Life is hard. Only so much that your brain can do before it shocks itself to death, I guess. I don't think that's literally how it works, but that's what I'm calling it. Only so much that can be done. I have absolutely been running on the limits of that. You know, for like a little while, I was trying to learn Japanese at night, and I just found that literally could not. My head, it just hurt so bad. So I stopped. And it wasn't because language is hard. It's like, it's true, it is, but just gotta stop doing so many dang things at once. I gotta pick, and I hate picking. Opportunity cost, truly the greatest enemy. There's just so many interesting things in the world, and I always wish I had more time to look at it all. Hate having to choose. Want to do all the things. Okay, and I think that is all the leaves. So I'm not going to delete my hot pink layer just yet. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, I missed a leaf that needs to be finished. Two of them, in fact. Oh, many more. Okay. Okay, I'll go touch those up real quick, and I'll go from there. Okay, did I miss any others? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's a dark area. That's not a leaf. Okay, so I think I can start coloring them. And I'll fill in everything, and then after they're all filled in, I'm gonna zoom out and make sure everything's looking good. There's random lines going in various places, but it's fine. I'm not gonna worry about it for now. I'm not gonna bother the color the ones that I just did way too much of. That's an oopsie right there. Oh. Another one is unfinished. There you go, Mr. Leaf. You are now finished. You are now whole. Are you a leaf? I think you're a leaf. I think you're. I do like the way these trees look, though. It took a little while, since I was drawing individual leaves, and normally when I draw trees, I would not do that. But I think it's perfect for this particular style. It's funny, I initially developed my stained glass style because of my initial, well, I guess I can't call it my initial, but the comic idea that I was kind of nursing before. I still hope to write that one someday. But I found that it took too long. It looks great. I love it. But certain parts of it really do take a while, and I don't think it's necessarily comic appropriate. Maybe that one would be better for a game. I don't know. I don't know. See, this is definitely one of those cases where I'm like, okay. So, I have to draw a bunch of leaves. And, like, leaves being tree hair will never let you finish, and I am feeling that right now. It's like, I drew all the leaves, and I'm like, okay, I did it. I drew all the leaves. What do you mean I have to go back and color each and every one of them now? There's so many! There's so many! Let's see, there's none that I kind of have to... Oh hey, these ones are cut off. But it's alright. They'll all be drawn eventually. It'll be there. It'll be there. Fortunately, I do feel like coloring them in is much easier than drawing the initial lines. So here we go. Oh man, that leaf is really big. I think it's fine. I just didn't realize how big I made it. Okay, and then after this, I just gotta slap a few dark parts in there. Finish the ones that I've already got started. And then I can start doing color picking, and I am really looking forward to that part. Although I do think that will be a little time consuming too, since I do have to start kind of coloring each leaf here, but at the very least, once I have all of the initial color filled in here, I can not only control U things to help get me started, I can also lock the layers and make sure I never color outside the lines. And that'll be pretty fantastic. I also think I want some kind of tree texture on the trunks, but I'm not sure how I want those to look yet. So I think I'll start with leaf color, because I think the color of the leaves will affect the color that I put on the trunk. I might even steal a color from the leaves and plop it on the trunk. Or maybe I'll make it more brown, I don't know. Choices are hard, you know? But I'm thinking these things now, while I go slightly crazy, rendering a bunch of leaves. It helps keep me sane. It does. Alright, and then I got some a little lower down, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. The leaves can't keep me working forever. Eventually, I will run out of uncolored leaves. I believe in myself. I do believe in myself. I really can't look. I really look forward to zooming out and seeing how all this looks. I'm really happy with it. Like right now things look a little weird because I turned off the tree trunks to make sure that all these leaves that are supposed to be in front of them would look good. But soon. Look, there's probably like less than 10 at this point. Awesome. The end is in sight. Okay, I actually think that's all of it. Oh, no. Missed one right here. Leaves will never let me go. They're trying to hang on to me as much as possible, but they're just running out of numbers here. So I'll get them. I'm just gonna give this one more look over, make sure that none are missing or incomplete. But yeah, I think that's good. So where are my trees? Here we are. Okay, and yeah, I do think that looks nice. So now I can get rid of this one. And I can get the dark areas. So let's see, are there any dark areas that I need to, like, finish? Are there any that are not, like, filled in? No, it looks like they're all complete. Oh, no, over here. I was looking over there. But yeah, there are some that are unfinished over here. Okay, once again, I think I'll still make a separate layer. Okay, I need to hide the front leaves for just a second here. Just to make sure I can get this line in particular looking really nice. And what about here? Yeah, I think you need a little bit of help too. But I don't want to add any more until I have my foreground leaves on again. Okay. Oh yeah, you're on a different layer. I'm just drawing on a different layer because I am scared. Okay, now which areas do I feel like need a little more something? Probably something down here. Maybe something right here. I think that's about it, though. So let's see. What do I have here to help me out? How thick are your lines, actually? Okay. So we'll have this. Let's see. And this. Okay, and I think that should be sufficient. So I'll go ahead and hide that there and get my dark color now. And I'll just color in those little lines I just drew. Oh, I missed you. I missed a leaf. Okay. Still clinging on. Those little leaves are doing their best. Are you the right one? Yes. Okay. So I can get these little dark areas. Make things look extra nice. Erase the areas that are no longer being filled in like that. There's a couple up there too, and I think I missed one lower down. It's all good. I'll fix it. So like just right here in this little branch. Right where I wanted a little dark spot. Keep things a little more interesting. Vary up those values. And there we go, that's it. And I think it looks good, so I'm gonna go ahead and start merging all the layers. So here we go. I'm just making sure to undo the alpha before I merge because that can make Krita barf if you don't. And I prefer not to have any barfing if I can help it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I like this. So, winter tree already done until I decide how I want to texture the trunk. And... hold on. Stretch. Big stretch. Okay, arms were locking up a little bit there, but I feel better. So, autumn is easy. That's gonna be the easy one to do. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I have them all in the same layer for now, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick out colors for spring. I have thoughts. I want the ones in the back to be a little bit more blue than the rest. Since the background is blue. And I will just adjust these colors until I am happy. That's the important part. I gotta be happy with the thing. Gotta be happy with the thing you're making. And do the things that just make you happy. Oh yeah, I like that really bright. Ooh, that's nice. Maybe not quite that neon, but that is nice. Okay. So I think that'll be good for just kind of a baseline. And then when it comes time to do summer there, I think I'm gonna make them like a little bit brighter and a little bit more yellow. So let's see how that works out. So I'm gonna select the area here, and that will only change things here. So I'm gonna amp up that saturation and make it more toward yellow. Huh. Does that not work here? I thought it did. I got the right layer. Okay, now there it goes. I'm not sure what was wrong before. How awkward. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Make them brighter and a little bit more yellow. Not that bright, but, you know, in that area. I still want them to be firmly green. So the difference between a summer and a spring it's going to be a little subtle. But everything is just going to be a little bit brighter. There we go. I think that is enough of a distinction. So you can see just a little tiny bit brighter. And then over here is where I really get to have fun. So no tree really has like all three different kinds of fall leaf colors. But you know what? This is a drawing. I can do what I want. So it's gonna have all of them. It's gonna have every single one. But I'm gonna start with just one color for the background here. And then I can make colors as I please. Let's get this over into the reds. Maybe a little slightly duller red. Kind of a little bit more into the pink. Maybe not that much into the pink. Yeah, like kind of right in there, and maybe a little brighter. It's stained glass after all. Okay, I like that. Let's get the front leaves, and once again, I'm going to start with red, and I'll change their individual colors in a bit. So I'll bring these, let these ones exist a little bit more toward orange instead of pink. But I still want them to be distinctly red. I might still do a little bit more with these two. But this one, I like this one. This one makes me happy. It really does. Okay, so there we go. I think that's a good start for that one. So let's see. How would I like to differentiate spring and summer just a little bit more here? Okay. I have a couple of ideas. Let's try them. So first, I'm going to go to summer and just brighten things up a little bit more. Like, I was trying to avoid neon, but then I asked myself, why? Why am I trying to avoid neon? Neon can be fun sometimes. So, you know what? Let's just amp it up a little bit more. Let's exaggerate everything. I think that is one thing that makes stained glass look very nice. Often has a bunch of exaggerated traits. I'm just going to make everything super bright. just super, super bright. Okay, yes, I do like that better. Now I want to take a look at spring again. Let's see, I'm actually going to start with the ones in the back this time. I have a vision, trust me. I kind of just don't want things to be quite as bright, but at the same time, I kind of also want them to be brighter, and it's complicated because thoughts are very contradictory sometimes. But don't worry, I'm a professional. Oh, that's good. I'm happy. Alright, let's get the dark spots too. They need to be much darker. There we go. I kind of feel like each has its own identity a little bit more now. And I like it. Let's see how it looks when I zoom out. Is it too much? That was my biggest fear, of just that it would look too much. Because I kind of like where I'm going with the structure of this painting, where you kind of have the mundane world down here, and then you have like the celestial sphere in the middle, and above that is, you know, Kronii and all of her clock stuff. And I think that's cool. So that's kind of how I wanted it to work out, but I just worry that this is too much. I wonder if I... Let's see. Basically, I'm just trying to maybe make it a little bit less noticeable, a little bit less contrast. I don't know if I like it, but it might be necessary. Okay, set to hard light. It looks a little bit better. Okay, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And I do think it is a little bit better with it than without it. Without it, it's just a little strong. But at least here, it kind of goes back to the normal colors. I was actually kind of worried about that when I made it that bright blue in the first place. But no, I think that this looks okay. Hell, I could almost keep it like that and I think it'd be okay. But no, I think I want to add my few other details. So, here we go. I'm going to experiment with the humans just a little bit. I'm going to see if I want them to be a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think it's better a little bit bigger. And then one other thing that I would like to do is I have it very triangular right now, which, you know, is good, especially since Kronii is like the embodiment of triangles. But I think I want to change the nature of the triangle a little bit. How far did I move you? Okay, let's count properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I want to make sure that I move the one on the other side the same amount. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, gonna do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so basically I wanted them to be a little bit more in a row there. I wanted it to be a little straighter and a little bit less like a pyramid. It still has some pyramidness to it. Okay. And I might move them behind Kronii, honestly. Yes, you gotta make way. Never mind that she's stepping on their hands a little bit. It's fine. They can deal with it. They should have gotten out of the way if they didn't want to get stepped on. Anyway. Yeah, I like that. I think they're looking good, and if I zoom in, do they look blurry? No, not really. Okay, cool. So I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Ah. Man, my legs have been struggling to get comfortable lately. Need to do more stretching. But with all the writing I've been doing, I haven't been stretching as much, and I think I'm feeling it, so... Nothing serious, I just gotta take care of it. You know, it's a good thing to do when I'm feeling brain dead in the evening. I should do it more. I'm just thinking about the snake again. What I want to try with the scales. Part of me feels like I should do something a little bit more uniform, but man, I did not find anything that I liked that looked uniform. Okay, you know what? Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna go look at the internet and see what people have done. Okay, I actually do have some ideas. Okay, let's try some stuff. I think it is time for some science. Let's do it. Okay, so first things first. I gotta get the little chomp. That's just too important to leave out. So I'm actually just gonna give it its own layer. Just so I don't have to worry about it while I'm trying other things. So we're just gonna make a chomp layer, and that will be in every variation. Because I don't want to mess around here. That little chomp is just so important. It is adorable. Look how cute it is! Okay, so I got chomp. Now, science. Ah, hello there, Blood Bullet. Welcome back. So let's see, which part of this snake is back and which part is belly? I'd say that most of this is back here. Let's hide Kronii. She's in the way again. Get out of the way. Alright. So I think this is where it becomes belly. Yeah, that is definitely where it becomes belly. So it kind of rolls over like this. And I want this line to be a little thinner than everything else. Like that. Do it. No, I have this backwards, actually. Because this is where it connects here. It goes like this. And then rolls this way. So this is back. If I follow it. And then it'll roll over this way. So does it show any belly? Seems like it should. Okay. So here, this is probably all belly. I am trying to figure out a snake. Time to break it down. At least for this breakdown, you don't need to dissect the snake. The snake can stay happy and healthy. So then this is the center. Rolls down here. Then comes up. And then... Okay, yeah, I think I see what's happening. So in order to make this work, kind of need to roll onto the side a little bit here. So I think all of this is still belly. And then it just comes up into here. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. We got a little snake tummy here. And then it'll come up here. And I think all of this is back. Okay. So not very much snake tummy showing. I want to make that line a little nicer. Okay. This does not describe it, though. I'm not satisfied. That is much better. And much easier to draw. Okay. So there we go. And I think I'm happy with that. And then for this part, I can draw some lines. Just going across the tummy of the snake, as you do. Is that correct? I think so. And then it just continues like this. All right. And then we're going to have more snake tummy over here. Okay. So like that. Okay, I'm liking where I'm going with this. I'm liking where I'm going. Okay, and then I just kind of gotta figure out what else I want to do. Okay, I have some thoughts. So, I'm gonna have another line going out like this. Yep, that's good. And another one going down like this. And then on its cute little head, I want one to go like this. And these are all going to represent shadows. Naturally, the chomp has to have one. Required. Because otherwise it will not be cute enough. Or do I want to go the other way? Yeah, I think this way is correct. I just wanted to follow the angle of this line a little bit better. Maybe I should zoom in then. There. Okay, that's good, I think. Okay, I want to remind myself what Boros looks like. Is he just a little guy? Okay, so he's got a white tummy. So that means that I should be making... I don't really want the rest of the snake to be darker than the tummy, though, so I'm in a rough spot. Okay, well, let me do my science with what I've got so far. And let's see. Okay, I need Kronii back for a second, and then she has to go away again because she'll be in the way. Or no, I guess not. Yeah, she won't be in the way. She could help out here, actually. Okay. Yeah, now I can start getting shadow lines based on Kronii's location here, and I think I have the wrong color for my snake lines, which is concerning. No, I don't. Okay. Let me just make sure I got them all right. Okay. All is well. I thought that I accidentally grabbed the wrong color somewhere, but it seems like I'm okay. Anywho. I don't want the line to be that thick. This one needs to be a nice thin one. Huh. Wait a minute. Are you a stroke? Okay, so I never fixed the color of the stroke. Okay, well I should do that because, yeah, the stroke is solid black and it shouldn't be. So I just never picked the right color for you. You're supposed to be that color. There we go. Which means that my lines might be the wrong color here, so I will fix that. No, it looks like they're all good. Okay. Okay, anywho. Back to getting shadows from Kronii's legs. I want this one to be really straight, because this part of her leg is really straight. So I better draw it fast. Yeah, that's good. And then I want a smaller one on this side, and I don't really want it to overlap her cute little face. Let's be a little more deliberate. Just because I really don't want it to overlap that face. That face is too cute. Okay. And then from here, let's get some from the cape. Alas, that line ended up not really mattering, but that's okay. It helped me see some things. All of that will be dark, so that's fine. And then I'll put another shadow line just through here. But I'm not going to erase the other lines here. Those represent the texture of the tummy. This one, I just have to do differently. I had the symmetry tool on, but it's not working here. It's creating an ugly tangent, and I hate it. So I'll just have to do this one a little differently. There. Just like that. In theory, but I gotta get that line looking a little better. There we go. And you know what? It's becoming increasingly relevant, so I think the next thing I'm gonna do, even before I do more science with the snake, is I'm gonna fix the stroke around Kronii. I need to square things off. It's especially bothering me like in the cape here. It's terrible and I hate it. So like here, you can see that the cape is really rounded right there, and I don't want it to be. I want it to be pointy. So I just need to fix the stroke. So all I'm doing is I'm painting in the same color on a different layer. That's it. Nothing special. Nothing special at all. Okay. But it feels nice. I can just turn symmetry on here real quick, and that will save me a lot of effort. So most of this is just going to be rounding off squares. Or, you know, squaring off squares, I guess I should say. I'm getting rid of the roundness in the squares. And triangles as well. The squares and the triangles, they just need to be pointy. So here you can see it's super round. This, not round at all. And I don't like the mismatch. That's the thing. That's the main thing here. This one I think is fine. I'm just gonna straighten out the few parts that we can see. This is all fine, I think. Actually, I think the fingers are okay like that. But this is pointy. And so the outline around it should also be pointy. Anything that's not pointy doesn't have to be quite as pointy. I was initially planning to do this closer to the end, but I don't know. It's kind of bothering me right now and making it hard to do snake-related things here. I kind of want the fingers to be a little pointier, I think. There we go. This definitely pointier. This definitely pointier. Needs to be so much pointier. Okay, now I'm getting to some asymmetrical parts, so I better turn off my symmetry. Just kind of square this off. Not really relevant over there, but it is here, so let's get that in there. Okay. That one, okay, does go a little off screen, but I see that it starts rounding itself at the end, and I gotta stop it from doing that. Ooh, and I also got some residue. How did that happen? Okay, where are you? I don't remember which one you are. You're this one. Okay, so there's a little something that I gotta erase around here somewhere. There we go. Now all is well. And I can go back to squaring off over here. Everything will be pointy again, and I will be happy. I think this is going to be the last bit up here, so I just got to get down to her feet again. I see a little bit more on this side, so I'm kind of touching things up over here again. I'm just going to go over everything and make sure that all is well. Okay, here it needs to be a little pointier. Okay. Yeah, I think I want her elbows to be pointier. Gonna go back around the cape just to make sure. Yep, I had a feeling. The other side is a little darker through here, so... I will check the cape again after this, just to make sure. But I think this will give me a good idea of where everything will be. Alright, just gotta check the legs here. So I'll turn off the symmetry since her legs and feet are not symmetrical. There we go. I want this to be pointier. Here too. Everything must be nice and pointy. Let's see, here I think is fine, leaving a little bit less pointy, but I want it to be a little more pointy than what I had. And here must be much pointier. Much, much pointier. Very important. And I kind of don't want it to rub up against the trunk of the tree, so I'm being kind of particular in how I point it. I don't really want it to get longer than that. And this is fine. That right there does not have to be pointy. Okay, and I wanted to check the side of the cape. I think I can smooth out here just a little bit more. It's not quite doing what I want it to do. Okay, and that still looks okay over on this side, right? Are these not symmetrical? They should be. This should be perfectly symmetrical. I drew the whole thing with the symmetry tool on, and everything is centered. Okay, now we're good. Okay, so there we go. That was just a little bit of stroke correction. So this way her outline should look a little bit better. Okay. So... yeah, let's go ahead and check some of my ideas on the snake here. So I wanted to grab some color from Kronii. I wanted this one and this one. Oops. Okay. So what I wanted to do... oh, so even though you're locked... oh, the stroke counts. Well, that's unfortunate! Okay, so I'm gonna have to be careful then. Ooh. Maybe what I should do is set it to multiply, so this way it doesn't show up on black. Yeah, there we go. It's close enough to black, like, I think if you really look for it, you can see it, but this will be enough for a proof of concept, and I can make it a little bit better at the end. Okay, so I'm just gonna color in parts of the snake here. Give it some shadows. Just the usual color by numbers here, so everything is nice and easy. Nice and easy, don't have to try very hard at all. But I do have to think about what color goes where. Yeah, I think I like this. I have everything on separate layers so that this way, if I want to try other patterns, I can. But I just found myself really unsatisfied with the snake, so I wanted to do something about that. I did. I really did. I'm coloring outside the lines a little bit, but I'm still kind of in proof of concept territory. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of experimentation. And then I'd like to do something a little bit more interesting with the scales. But I do think I like this, and... yeah, I don't know, it's just... The way I had the scales before I think looked good, but it just doesn't scream stained glass to me. So it felt a little bit wrong, whereas this is a little bit better. I don't know if I want a bunch of individual scales, though. That, besides being really time-consuming to draw, I think it might just be a little bit too much. Like, if the snake was the main focus of the picture, I totally would. If I was drawing a stained glass picture of a snake, it would have complete scales. But I'm not. I'm drawing a picture of an anime girl, and I don't want to take away from the anime girl by adding a ton of details by her legs, basically. And I do think adding too much down there would make you less inclined to look at her face. There's already a ton of detail around here in the trees, so much so that I had to put another layer on top in order to make the contrast not so strong. So, I don't want to do too much with scales. I kind of want to do something a little more than what I have, though. So that's where things are a little hard. What do I want to do? Okay, I'm gonna do some science. This is similar to some stuff that I was doing before, but I kind of want to try it again. Maybe I just didn't do it very well last time. Let's see, this side too. Because, like, I think that this look is way more stained glass-like. It just looks way more like stained glass, but I'm not sure if I like it, is the thing. And that's always what makes certain things hard. It's like... I don't really like it. I don't. I don't. I just really don't like it. Maybe I just make it a little more windy so I can put in some more shadows in places? But no, I don't think I want to do that either. I don't think it suits how it's sitting. And I don't want to go too hard on the detail. Because, like, I very easily could just do something like, just a quick and dirty version, just, you know, scale, texture all the way through. Like this. And, but I think that's too much. It's mostly just right here that I feel like needs something. Maybe here, but mostly just right here. So, I don't know, maybe I just... instead of doing it on the side that I was initially planning, over here, since you can't really see that side. It's covered up by cape. Maybe I just do it here instead. And then instead of this color, I use this one. And then I use this color for this part. Is that enough? Let me zoom in and make sure I actually color this properly. I should probably do that with all of it. I was not very precise with a lot of it since I was still just testing things. But I like where this is going, so I will be a little bit more precise. So let's see if this is enough. And maybe I can do something similar on the other side. Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah, I think that's all it needed. And then maybe I can just put a similar little twist. Like from here to up here. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Okay, I think I see how this should be done. Let's grab the dark color and just plop it in here. And I'll just leave it like this. I think that will look fine. Yeah, I think that did it. Okay, cool. So I didn't have to do anything too complicated. That's always nice. And I think I'll just leave the texture on its belly without changing colors. So let's go in and make sure all the colors are not bleeding out and that everything is in the right place. You can see I had a little bit of bleeding there. And frankly, I think that the difference between this color and black is so small that I'm actually not going to worry about erasing over the stroke parts. I mean, if I really start seeing it, maybe I will. But right now, I'm seriously struggling to. Well, I guess I kind of see it here. Yeah, here is supposed to be blending in with the background perfectly, so I should be a little more careful. But for the most part, I really don't see it. Like, do you really see the difference between these two colors? I have to squint real hard to see it. So I'll give it a nod, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time fixing that, because I think it's okay. Okay, so there we go. I think that is a much better snake. I'm happy. So, alright, here we go. Let's see. I'm gonna turn off the limiters here, and I know that for this one I want some rain. So I think for that, all I'm really gonna do is I'm gonna take my line tool, make it real thin. 5 pixels seems good. Is that too thick? Oh no, that's actually too thin. Okay, good. Oh, and I'm also using my... Okay, there we go. Yeah, I did want it thinner. Normally, when I do stuff with the line tool, if I don't want to taper it off at the end, I just use my mouse. And I wasn't doing that there, so that's why it ended up thin. Okay, that's good. So what I'm gonna do is just this. Just gonna draw some lines. Lots of little lines all going at the same angle. a little bit more evenly spaced than I would ever dare to do if I was actually trying to draw, like, nice-looking rain. But this is stained glass, and I think that this is appropriate for such a style. I feel like I say that a lot, but I always have to emphasize, you know, sometimes stylistic choices make you do weird things. That's why you always gotta think about it. You can't just say, oh, but this is how I draw rain, and ignore it if it doesn't look bad or doesn't express what you want to express. Always be thinking. And then I'm holding down my shift key so that this way they will all be at the same angle. And we'll see how much I can get through this before the end of stream today, because I think I have some ideas for summer now, too. So I know that for spring here, I wanted to draw some rain and some flowers. Because when I think of spring, that's what I think of. Rain and flowers. So I think that's a nice abstract little rain there. Let's see, can I maybe get a tiny stroke around you just to make you a little more visible? Just a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, and now let's draw some flowers. Those I want to be behind the tree. What kind of flowers do I want? I think I'll just make them white. Let's see, is white gonna work on this? Rain a little bit in the way, so I'm gonna hide it for a moment while I think about how I'm gonna structure the flowers here. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw one. So I'll just do a little white flower like this. Or I'm gonna keep it real simple. Very, very symbolic. Just go straight for, when I think of a flower, I think of this kind of shape. Okay, but I want it to be a little bit more consistent all the way around, so maybe what I should do is draw one petal and duplicate it 5 times. Seems reasonable to me, and then I can place them a little bit more deliberately. And this way everything should be pretty, I don't know, samey looking. So something kind of like this. Oops, I meant duplicate, not remove. There is a distinction. Okay, so like here. There, and now they should all be a little bit more similar. That's still not quite right, but it's close. So then I think I'm gonna grab the yellow I use for everything else. And we'll plop it right in the middle here. I hate it. Let me use the lighter yellow then. I think it should be fine against this blue. Yeah, as long as it's in the field of white here. Okay, so now I'm gonna kind of align the petals with that circle. I'm probably being more precise than I need to, but you know, whatever. I'm gonna duplicate this flower like 20 times, so I better make it look good, right? Because if one looks bad, then like every single flower that I make here is gonna look bad, because they are just gonna be copies of each other. Okay, and I think that's good, so I'm gonna merge it all together. And then I'm gonna put the little stroke around it. I don't think I want it around the middle. I think that would just be too much. I don't want this to be drawing a lot of attention to itself, and I already feel like this window draws a lot of attention to itself. So I'm gonna do my best to keep things very simple. But I just feel like the white is not quite visible enough on this, so I do need to put a little bit of a stroke around these things. And then I'll just fill in the areas that I did not color in quite properly. There we go. Okay. And I don't want it to be that big. I want them all to be much smaller than this. So now I'll just copy them all over the place. No, duplicate, not delete. Thank you. And they'll just hang out around here. Doing flower things. And eventually I'll merge them all together. And make it so that they are properly clipped. And I do think I need some overlapping, otherwise it just doesn't quite work. And I probably do need a few in front of the trees. Maybe I should put them all in front of the trees. No. I had to think about it for a second, but no, I don't think that's a good idea. Where are my trees? Here they are. And normally if I was, you know, drawing a... I don't know, something in more of my usual styles, I would not be making all the flowers the same like this, but this is stained glass. So I do want them all to be pretty much the same. I think that's fine. So I'll merge those, and then I'll merge all of these. Clip. And then I want to add some stems. And I'm just going to use that color. This will also be clipped, and again, keeping things very samey. Okay, and so coupled with the rain, I think that's good. I don't think it really needs anything else. So here, for this one, what I was actually thinking, we'll see if it works, was sunbeams. So I was going to grab the yellow from here. I'm not sure if this color will look good, but I figured I'd try it. See what happens. So I just start from the top and then come down. Okay, it needs to be thicker than that. That's good. Okay, so I'll just draw some lines of varying length here. I don't think I'm varying the length enough. I should hide, just to make it clear what's happening here. I don't know if I like this. I don't think it reads as sunbeams. Okay, I don't like it. So I'll go do winter then, because winter I just want some snow. Okay, and that's gonna require a little bit of work, because what I want to do is use my splatter brush as a stencil. And from there, draw the real snow on a different layer, because splatter brush, I think it makes fantastic snow, but it has opacity, and I don't want that for my stained glass. Let's get some over the tree. Okay, that should look very good. Once it is no longer opacityed, and I should have drawn this directly in hot pink, but, you know, it's okay. I can just lock the layer, color it hot pink, reduce the opacity, and draw directly on top. So here we go. I will also keep them perfectly round. And once this is all done, it should look very much like snow. I'm gonna go ahead and clip it immediately. It's gonna look a little weird because I do technically have some stuff, you know, the pink layer there that I'm using as my stencil. It'll clip to that too. So it'll look a little weird until I delete it. And then at the end here, I will put a stroke around it again. Just to make it a little bit more visible. I just think the white blends in too much to this blue, so I kind of got to do something to make it stand out. Make it so you can tell the difference between the white and the blue at a glance. That's always the goal. But there's a lot of little dots to draw, so it's gonna take me just a sec here. Unfortunate, but here we go. Just gotta get in there. I don't think I'm gonna quite finish it this time, but I wouldn't be surprised if I finish it on Monday. Depends on how long just general correction takes, but I did most of the correction I wanted to do today, so... So I'm just almost there. Man, I've got to decide what to draw next. Man, I've had so many other things to think about. I actually hadn't strongly thought about it. Oh no, that's not true. I already know. Never mind. What am I talking about? I just forgot. Like I said, been feeling really absent-minded for some reason lately. I say for some reason, I think the reason is obvious, but... it feels bad. It does, man. Phew. So many little dots here. But I gotta make sure that there's enough snow to really make it look like a storm. And I mean, it's getting there. I do like it. So, I'll keep going. We'll go all the way down. I do have some over the bottom of the tree here, right? I could use a little bit more, actually. Let's get some hot pink in here. I say this after complaining about there being too many dots. I have it locked. Stop it. Stop being locked. There you go. Okay. And one more, like, just right there. Okay. And over here. Okay. Back to dots. Oops, I still have it on hot pink. There we go. No, I don't want this to be hot pink. This has to be... Hot pink snow would be something else, but, you know, if I ever saw that, all I could think of is, blood. Hot pink is my placeholder color, but a lot of the times, when I see it now, I just think of lots and lots of blood. I'd rather not have my snow look bloody. That, it might be fun to draw, but it's not what I'm going for this piece. It is not. Okay. Man. Well, this was certainly a decision. One I strongly approve of, but... Man, I can't even remember the last time I drew snow like this. I think... Yeah, I think it was for Christmas gifts, like, 2 years ago. I drew a picture of Snoopy dancing in the snow. And this is how I drew the snow in that picture. Just splatter brush and then lots and lots of circles. Just because, again, it's like the splatter brush here has some opacity on it, so the edges would not be perfectly solid. And that has certain downsides. It has certain upsides. The next picture that I'm planning here, it's gonna have lots of snow too, and that I will actively want the opacity shenanigans on the brush in order to make it look good. So I'll be glad to have it there, but for here it's like, man, I wish I could just tell it to be a solid. I probably could, actually. You know, I should actually learn how to use my tools better. That's another thing that would probably speed up my process quite a lot. Gotta get good, man. Always be better. Alright, let's go over here, I guess. I have decided I feel like going over here. It's okay, sometimes I gotta do little things like that to keep myself sane. Honestly, I'm just glad that I have the splatter brush at all. Just so that I can get some nice random spread. Because people are pretty bad at that, and if I didn't have it, I'd probably have snow that looked way more uniform. But here, it just looks nice and random, and it's beautiful. Wonderful. I do feel like the end of the picture is where like 90% of the tedious stuff comes out though. Which is always a little unfortunate. I guess that's why some people try to save the thing that they like to draw the most for last. So that this way they can get through all these tedious parts, but I don't find it that bad. Most of the time I just find something nice to listen to. And then I can just get distracted by that. Admittedly, that's what I watched most of the streams that I watched. It's like, oh, it's rendering time. Well, let's put something on in the background so I don't go insane. Heck yeah. Alright, let's just get into this corner, I guess. Let's see, I still got a little bit of time. So I might draw some pumpkins and yams and other nice things like that. You know, good old fall crops. Decide what I want to do with summer. Eventually. Somewhere. I was hoping that the sunbeams would work, but I didn't really like them. Maybe I should just draw the sun coming up over the horizon instead and draw the sunbeams from there. I think that might make it read better. You know, I should try it. I'll do it after the snow. But I gotta finish the snow first. No running away from snow. Forbidden. Absolutely forbidden. Man. Okay, only a little bit left. Almost there. Almost there. It's okay. Drawing isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Just gotta do the thing. Just gotta do it. Then I'll have cool snow and I'll be like, oh man, that snow's so cool. And it'll be great. It'll be great. I mean, look how good it already looks even while I'm this zoomed in. It is so very snow-like. So very, very snow-like. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that's a pretty good mix of stuff, so I don't need my stencil anymore, and I can just get the stroke on there. Gotta make my picture have a stroke before I do. Heck yeah. Okay, and then once again, I think this only needs to be like 4. I don't want it to be a thick stroke. Just enough to kind of surround the snow. There we go. Do I want anything else back there? Do I? A snowman. Yes, I think I want the snowman. I'm gonna put a snow pile and a snowman. So let's see, a snow pile. I actually want that to be behind the tree. I just put that in a bad spot. It's fine. Just a draw over here. No. Let Krita have its little aneurysm because I dared to use strokes. It'll be fine. Okay, and then we draw a little snowman. I think what I'm gonna do is that this is gonna be snow pile, and I would actually like it to be the kind of mid-tone snow color for the most part. I'll add a few lighter spots, I guess. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, and then I'm gonna put the lines around it. I think I went better than that. Okay, and just fix the colors. I just did this all in the same layer, it's fine. I'm not especially concerned. And now I can do snowman. Okay. And then I'll put another little shadow underneath the snowman, and that'll be the darkest color. So here. Then here. Then here. Hat. Okay, he can't be that close to that big snow. Okay, actually, I'm gonna put it back, and I'm just gonna get rid of this big snow right here. There we go, because we gotta be able to see the snowman's face and his hat. That is an important part of the anatomy of a snowman. That's not right. Alright, let's see here. Let's see here. It's gonna be quick and simple. So let's give him some eyes. And a little smile. There we go. I'll pass on the carrot nose, I think. I think that this is readable enough as a snowman, but I will give him little arms. Okay. And let's see. I think I'll actually stroke it like this. I'll just do it manually. I was thinking about doing it with a stroke, and I still might, but I think I want it to be like this. And that's not something I can do with just a regular old stroke. So here, I think it just makes sense to do it myself. Okay, there we go. So I think that's going to be good for winter. Let's see, how long do I have? Yeah, I still got a little bit of time. So let me try my idea for summer. Where are you? Bottom, here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and take the yellow. This is probably going to look pretty bad. And then I'll draw some rays coming out of it, and I can adjust the color after. I think I had it like 5 when I decided that I liked it. Okay, you're not going to be able to see anything if I drop the rays behind the tree, though. So I gotta draw the rays in front of the tree. Oh, wait, it didn't, Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, it didn't, undo my draw line. Had to get rid of that first. Okay, here we go. Does this feel summery? I think it feels pretty summery. Just a bright light coming through, coming out of the sun. Yeah, I think I like this. Might erase some to fit with the leaves a little better, but I gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere. Kind of the same with this tree. I'll probably keep some of these, but some of them I think are gonna get erased. Let's see, I don't actually like the way these lines are looking at the moment. I think they're too thick. Okay, let's try that again. Is that better? Let me do some down here and see. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. Look, you gotta be particular about these things, otherwise it just doesn't work. Okay, so I'm just gonna dot this with lines. You know, it takes a second, but I do love the result. I have done it like 3 times in this picture. So you know I love it. That no matter what happens, I do like the effect. But if I'm being honest, I don't actually mind the tedium that much. The hard part for me is just, I have to keep talking even when doing some of the more tedious stuff. I can't just kind of get into a zen state. I gotta say the things, and it is so hard sometimes to come up with good things to say. While I'm just like, yep, drawn a line. Oh man. Oh man, the lines are so there. So good, and I like it, and it makes me happy. I can only say that so many times before it gets a little repetitive, you know? It gets like as tedious as drawing the lines themselves. Okay, one must suffer for their art, it's fine. And honestly, I do consider the act of streaming the art part of the art, so... So it's okay. All is well. Then I'll figure out how I want to handle the overlapping parts in just a sec. I'm not actually sure. I think I want to stroke it, so I don't really want to do like a gradation or anything, because that will make the stroke have a stroke. So yeah, I gotta figure something else out. But I can do that. That's what creativity's for. Figuring out things. It's what it's all about. No, I don't like that. These angles are all wrong. There we go. That's better. And right now I feel like things are a little bit uniform, so I'm gonna kind of break things up a little bit. Put some closer lines, some denser lines, and that kind of thing. But I think this looks okay. I think that looks pretty summery. I just kind of need to clean up how it interacts with the leaves here. Because I do want it to go above the leaves for the most part, but I'm not sure if I like it here is the thing. And this is hard. Because I kind of want to get the feeling of light filtering through the leaves. So it's just a matter of kind of deciding where to start. So maybe what I should do, actually, instead of deleting a lot of this, maybe what I gotta do is put it behind the front leaves, but in front of all the back leaves. And that might give me the effect I want. Maybe. Mayhaps. Only one way to find out. I still don't like it on some of these leaves, though, so I think I just kind of have to play it by ear and feel it out. And that is often true, so it's all good. I think it looks okay in the tree for now. I can't really put a stroke around this, though. Because I have the sun and the rays on 2 different layers. And, it'll look weird. I guess I could try. I might be able to correct it. But I think that this will be the last thing I do. So, let's see if I can figure out how to make this look good. I don't know if I can, but I will try, and I forgot to adjust the thickness of the stroke. No, it only needs to be like 4 pixels. Not 20. There we go. You know what? What am I doing? I'm just gonna copy and paste it. That is too much. Can I make you thinner? That look good? I mean, ignoring the weird overlap? I think so. Okay, let's correct the weird overlap. Let's do that. Sorry, my nose is getting a little stuffed up from talking, but it's like, we're right at the end of stream. I don't really feel like going to fix it. So I'm not going to worry about it, and it's just making my voice sound funny. Okay, so that should do it for the tree. And then I just got to be real careful through here. Very scary. But I think I know what I'm doing. I think. And I think that this should work. So this is just going to cover up all the excess strokes, basically. And try to make this look like one continuous shape despite being on 2 layers. And, you know, me having to pull all these shenanigans to make it work. It's okay, I think part of being an artist is learning how to pull shenanigans in order to get what you want. That's kind of the nice thing with art, as opposed to real life. If you can visualize it, you can achieve it. You just gotta try hard. Go full try hard, man. Hold nothing back. Nothing. Okay, got a little excess in here. Some little stray pixels that I gotta erase. Okay. Then I see I have a little bit too much ray correction in a couple of spots. It's fine, I'll fix it. I just gotta be careful about the leaves. It's probably easier just to erase the excess rays around those leaves instead of trying to put correction. Okay, but here, it just needs correction. Here, just needs a bit of correction. Okay, and then here I'm gonna kind of pull back the rays a little, kind of make it look like it's filtering through the tree, and there we go. So let me put the limiter back on. There we go. So next time, gotta finish this panel here. Probably do a little bit of decoration on the area between the panels, and you know, that's gonna be about it. At that point, I'll just see if there's anything I want to correct, experiment with some color correction, maybe see if I can find ways to make her face look a little bit more impressive. I'm still kind of ambivalent about it, so that's a sign that maybe I should try a couple of things, especially considering how good everything else looks. I mean, look how good the rest of her body looks. I've really got to get the face up to that same standard. The face should be better than everything else, man. But yeah, it's coming together. We're about done here. I think I'll probably finish it on Monday. Schedule for this week will probably still say that I'm doing it 3 days a week, but you know, it's all good. I'll just switch to the new thing if I finish it on Monday like I expect. And I think that this is where I will stop for today. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow.